Are you ready to stop seeking approval to embrace your 2S LGBTQI plus pride?
Hey, this is Steph, and welcome to the Together Moving Forward podcast.
A podcast helping 2S LGBTQI plus people embrace self love and self respect so you can celebrate yourself with pride. In this episode, you'll discover how embracing your 2S LGBTQI plus identity can help you build deep self love and confidence. Why understanding our community's history matters for creating unity and pride today. How to bring the generation gap within the queer community through compassion and open dialogue. I'm so happy to welcome Laura and MaryAnn to share their 29 years love story from the heart of New York City. This is part one of two back-to-back episodes. Today's conversation is about rediscovering your identity, celebrating your pride, and learning to love yourself exactly as you are. Hello again, I'm Steph Vachon, and I am a human being. Welcome back to the Together Moving Forward podcast. Embrace your 2S LGBTQIA plus identity with pride through self-love. No matter where you stand in the 2S LGBTQIA plus spectrum, we are all connected. And if you ever struggle to fully love and respect yourself, you are not alone. And this podcast is here to help you. As someone who has navigated my own journey of self acceptance as a queer, I know the power of hearing voices that reflect our own experiences. In this podcast, you'll hear real stories and conversations that leave you with practical tools, fresh perspectives, and the confidence to embrace who you are with pride. To start, I need to say that I'm not a psychologist, a specialist, or someone with a college degree. I'm just a regular guy here to share with all of you and support each other. I won't tell anyone what to do or how to do things. Instead, I'll share my journey and we will all share journeys together. We'll learn from each other how to move forward. Today, I'm so thrilled to welcome Laura and MaryAnn. While editing, I decided to keep a part of our conversation before the interview actually started. It is too funny, and it reminds us that it's okay to laugh at ourselves. Sometimes not taking life so seriously and embracing our mistakes is exactly how we grow. I can't wait for you to meet them. MaryAnn, it's so nice to see you
Oh,
finally.
I wish I had a microscope to see you.
But that's I just put my glasses to try to
Oh,
see a little
look.
bit because I
Wait. Oh,
just
there you are. Okay. Nice to meet you, Steph.
nice
What
to meet you finally.
Are we positioned? No, MaryAnn's off
Just a little
camera.
bit. Do you guys see yourself? Okay,
Yes.
Is this good?
it's perfect. Yeah, yeah. And it's the goal is not to have the perfect picture. It's not that.
But no. The
Right.
goal was to be able to talk.
Exactly. Exactly. So I'm gonna welcome you first, and then we'll take a little
Okay.
break.
And
I'll
I'm
read
just
the
going to remind
question.
MaryAnn that he's going to edit.
Oh yeah.
So if we
Nice.
burp or have to pee, we're
Okay.
good.
Okay.
Oh yeah, because I'm gonna stumble for sure many times. So when I read the questions, I get nervous and I stumble.
Well, this is my first time doing a podcast, so who knows what's going to come out of my mouth.
That might be
It's
funny.
not live.
Well,
It's
that's good.
No, I could never do live. I could never. I would be way too stressed out. I would stumble all the time. I would know. I would pee in my pants. There's no way.
You know, I've done live. I mean, not
Right.
on camera, but I did a live thing at a Q&A for the icebreakers recently. And like, I think I was on fire and it was really good, but I basically told young people to just go out and fucking do it.
You said the F word.
Oh,
Big
yeah.
time.
Do
Yes.
you know
well,
what? I have not said the F word once yet. In my next week episode, I'm solo and I'm talking about that I'm rebranding everything, and there's gonna be two episodes a week now. No more season. Anyway, yeah. So I'm talking about this, and then I'm saying the word shit. This is like the first time I say a bad word in English, but I'm
Wait,
really trying not to. I'm really trying not to, but it's hard. But
okay. So remember a year ago you were like worried about should you do this?
oh, we'll talk about it. But next week, this is my episode. Well, first, it's helping me so much. You don't even know. Like this helps me first. When I first started, I didn't know what the hell I was doing and what I had to do. I don't care. I have to do this. It's like going to the games. I have to do it. I'm absolutely loving it. I'm absolutely loving it.
Oh
You're
no,
loving
and
it.
it's I mean, we're behind on watching so many episodes because life is just insanely busy
Of
for
course.
two supposedly retired people. But I think we're ready.
Great. Okay. So I'll welcome you and then I'll read the questions. Okay. So Lisa and MaryAnn, thank you so much for being with us
My
today.
name isn't Lisa.
What did I say? See, I'm so stressed out. Okay. This is what
Does
I
that make you
do.
feel better?
Yes. You know what? I'm gonna put the text in my face. Then I can't believe I said Lisa.
It was great. It was a
Oh.
tension breaker.
Right?
Oh, totally. Okay. Well, go again. Okay. Laura and MaryAnn, thank you so much for being here with us today. But I should say, Laura should say welcome back. And MaryAnn, finally, it's so nice to meet you.
Well, thank you for having us.
Thank you. It's fabulous to be back, and I'm excited to do another episode this time with MaryAnn.
Yes, I was really waiting for that. So it's been a long time
Well, I
since
hope it's worth your wait.
Yes. Great. You both grew up in a completely different worlds. How did those opposite childhoods shape the women you became? And how did your path eventually find each other?
Well, I think no, you start on
You want
this.
me to start? Well, yes. When I met Laura and she explained her childhood to me, it was so different from mine that I couldn't fathom living in her childhood. I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, and had a lot of family around, and we had good times together. We got along, and we had just a wonderful relationship as a family. And growing up in Brooklyn was really nice. I mean, we didn't have much. We were piss poor, but it didn't matter because everything else was pretty good. And my mother and father, they worked very hard, and we lived with my immigrant grandmother from Italy, which did not speak a word of English. So I learned how to speak Italian and before I spoke English.
I remember you telling me that your childhood had been difficult because your parents were strict.
Yeah,
And
that part of it, yes, they were strict because I was an only child, and they wanted to make sure that I grew up the right way. And I think they did a pretty good job, even though, I disagreed with a lot of things, but that's kids do that. They
Mm.
disagree with their parents. So, but the other stuff, it was great. It was great growing up where I grew up and had a lot of stability. No money, but a lot of stability. And it turned out pretty good in the end anyway. So I have no
and that's the polar opposite
Mm.
of my childhood. I think initially MaryAnn couldn't fathom the stories I told her. They were just like something out
you
of,
know,
I mean, it just unfathomable.
it was by total polar opposites. A matter of fact, when I first took Laura to my family's house where I think we had a holiday dinner,
Yeah. So, right.
and she was dumbstruck that we all liked each other.
I had never experienced anything like the sort of storybook, imaginary, made for TV kind of family. So by the time I met MaryAnn, only her mother was still alive and some cousins, mostly older. I was, by that point, almost entirely done with any connection with my birth family. I did try to hang on to one relationship. It didn't work. And MaryAnn had the absolutely horrifying experience of a couple of dinners with a member of my birth family that were, well, you describe what your experience
Well,
was
I'm
like.
horrified because they made a scene in the restaurant. I didn't know how to react to all that or respond to it, or if I should respond, because I had just met them and I didn't really know them that well. So I didn't know if it was my place to say something. And I was just horrified that this was going on in a restaurant.
Did,
W-
did you?
Was it a scene about you two together?
No,
No, no, no,
Oh,
no, no,
okay.
no.
no.
Okay.
No, it was just very loud, angry, Laura bashing and accusations of behaviors that MaryAnn, like they were talking about a human being you'd never met, correct?
Right. But the ironic thing about the whole thing was her father thought, because I came, well, not my immediate family because I was an only child, but I had a lot. My father had a very big family. And so I had a gazillion cousins on that side of the family. And he thought because I came from such a big Italian family that I would side with them. Little unbeknownst to him, I was horrified at his behavior. I mean, he was, as far as my opinion, he was clueless as to what family is.
Yeah. Well, I honestly have a bit of an issue with even the word because
What family?
my experience was just so toxic. And I think of us as a couple. I think of us as, I don't think of us as family because MaryAnn had a family. But when I think of you and your family, it's of the Palomos. And I have such negative connotations about the whole concept that I'm just happy it's the two of us alone together and we have each other. And it's kind of all we need.
And when all of this was happening, Laura, did you feel like you should not be talking to MaryAnn about your childhood or how you feel? Did you feel like weird about talking about these things?
No, I never felt weird talking to MaryAnn about anything, which, from the earliest times after we met, that's an amazing sign about the potential of a marriage, that you can talk about anything. And I just wonder if, until she had this restaurant experience that she was talking about, if she thought that perhaps I was exaggerating or.
No, because I knew you, but I did not really know them, and I wasn't getting. I always get these gut feelings about people, and I would say a good part of the time I'm usually right, and I was not getting a good feeling from the two of them. So, and I felt badly for you that you had to be subjected to this nonsense. It wasn't
We
fair.
survived.
Yeah.
I mean, the first half of my life was kind of sucky, and this part is really nice.
And yeah, how did you guys meet? We have to know all
Oh,
that.
we met.
It's way before electronic devices.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so yes, people have
There was no technology back then.
people have dating apps these days. We use the 1996 equivalent, which was a personal ad in the print edition of
The Village
the
Voice.
Village Voice.
Yes, I remember the same thing we had here in Montreal.
I remember that we would have to pay 50 cents a minute on the phone call to hear the messages that people left.
Wow.
So it was 29 years ago. The ad that she answered was in the end of November 19.
Prior to Thanksgiving.
Right.
Prior to
Right. Well, right, exactly. I was cooking Thanksgiving dinner when I needed a break from peeling chestnuts because my fingers were like shriveled and sore. So I thought, well, this is a good time to call in and see if I snagged me a nice lesbian. So that was when I first heard her voice. And we spoke on the phone that weekend. Maybe
I was-
even that day.
No, it was Thanksgiving Day. I was on my way out to my family's house when you called me.
Okay. And we made a coffee date for probably that Saturday,
Right.
something like that.
So you had not seen each other. Like it was
No.
just
Oh,
an
no.
ad
sight-
and then on
sight
the
unseen.
phone.
Yeah.
Oh
no,
my-
no
No
pictures.
pictures. Oh
pictures.
my,
No
yeah.
pictures.
Wow.
And we went to Ruby Fruit. On
Yeah.
Austin Street.
We went to a then very popular restaurant called Ruby Fruits, which was named for the book Ruby Fruit Jungle, which was just a wonderful lesbian book. We had both been doing a fair amount of blind dating. I had had a couple of fairly long term, but ultimately not good enough relationships, and had made a really good friend. And it was a difficult time for me to try to be dating because I was getting up. I'm a figure skater and I was training a lot back then. And I skated for 2 hours before I went to work every day. And there were women that I met who just wrote me off right away because I wouldn't go to a 9 o'clock movie. They didn't think that like a matinee was a real date. One of the very first things I said to MaryAnn was, I'm going to put something on the table right away. I just want to let you know I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, 5 days a week.
And I said to her, I get up at 4:30 and work out.
Oh, there you go.
So, it's interesting. In retrospect, understand how important our sleep schedule is for the success of our relationship, how we, eat at, the times we eat. It's not the kind of thing that young people are looking for.
But back then, it was a little different than it is now that we're retired.
Yeah.
We don't.
I mean, you're right. We sleep till 6:30 now.
Right. And we ate then a little later than we eat now.
Right. But my point is that
They
we were
close
open to each
Yeah,
other because we
right.
were on the same wavelength.
Right. Schedule. Right. It's a brick face. That's schedule.
So what was your first impression of me?
I said, oh, she's cute, smart, and hopefully there'll be another date.
Do you remember what I made you do?
Oh, get rid of my colognes.
Yeah. So
I had this gay friend of mine. He worked at Bloomingdale's. At the time, they called it Harry's Bar, which was where they had all the men's colognes.
Mhm.
And he would bring home to me all these samples. And I just went crazy with them. And so I used to wear all this stuff. I must have had about 20 different.
So she walked in and I gagged. And now that I'm remembering, before I got to the part about I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, I asked if she could please go to the restroom and wash off
No.
the cologne because I could not sit there. Now we now live in a totally
Cologne.
forget about cologne.
Unscented
Soap, unscented detergent. There is no
scents.
Yeah. But she was hoping to impress me and had to figure out different ways.
You honestly, you were the only woman that had that request.
But I was the right one.
Yes.
So you did go to the washroom and then
Yes, I did.
You
Yeah.
did?
Okay. Yeah.
Yes,
Oh
I
my.
did.
No, I could not have sat there through
Oh,
coffee.
that's so funny.
The things we do for love.
And then what happened?
Well, we started seeing each other a little more.
Mhm.
Can you ask a little bit more specific question?
Well, I just want to know, like, after that date, how did you guys get together? And was it fast? Was it like,
I mean, okay, we're lesbians. Of course it was fast.
The U-Haul had almost moved in the next day.
No, it wasn't
I know.
it wasn't quite
That's
that
fast.
We actually, no, I mean, we started dating exclusively very, very quickly.
Mhm.
And there was no question but that to both of us that this relationship had enormous potential.
Mhm. Can I ask you guys, are you willing to say how old you are? Just to give an idea.
Oh,
Who's
uh,
listening?
yeah. We are we're vintage dykes, we're elder dykes, we're senior citizens. I was a child bride. I am only 69.
I'm 77.
Wow. And you've been together for 29 years.
Yes.
Yeah, you know,
Wonderful.
when we met, I was 40, MaryAnn was 48, and we thought we were middle-aged. We were jaded beyond hope. We'd given up, and now we know, like, that's a crock.
Mhm.
Age is only a number.
Yeah. Wow.
It's
That's
how you
great.
live your life.
Exactly.
It'd be nice if we could have another 29 years.
Yeah. We'll do another podcast then.
Yes. Well, before that. How has your sense of identity evolved over the decades? And how do you navigate the changing language and culture of the LGBTQIA plus community today?
Can I start?
Go ahead.
With that one?
Go ahead.
The lingo, the changing terminology is front and center in my mind all the time. I just came back from a trip to Valencia, Spain, where I was involved in a planning meeting for next summer's gay games. And I learned some new terms. Do you know what ABCD means?
No. I'm like you. I'm still learning.
Right? Okay.
So much.
So, all right. 2S LGBTQIA plus
that I know.
is like alphabet soup.
Yeah.
And ABCD is a new term I came home with like 10 days ago. It means anyone but cis dudes,
Oh, interesting.
right?
There you go. Yeah.
And I came back with another term. Do you know Flinta?
No, sorry. I feel old too.
Okay, but no, so this I think is not because of our age. It may be a European thing. In Valencia, the public bathrooms the ones that MaryAnn or I would go in, said Flinte. And I'm probably going to butcher the German, but basically it's Fräulein, lesbisch, intersex, non-binary, and maybe allies. I'm not sure.
Checked all the boxes.
It basically means ABCD,
Okay.
but we don't have that in the US. You probably don't have it in Canada. I happened to have a lovely visit yesterday with a lesbian friend who lives in Australia and was passing through New York, and she'd never heard of ABCD or Flinte.
Flinte.
What t-shirt did you pick out for today?
Woke
Oh, woke gender
gender
ideology.
ideology.
This is like a big thing here. Here being US, a senior queer, I try to stay up on everything.
Mhm.
It's hard because it changes every 5 minutes. The people I know who are in their 20s and 30s, many of them change their pronouns and their names every few weeks. We want to be really supportive and really understanding. We don't like being yelled at when we remember that the last time we saw you, you were non-binary and your name was Sam. If you're now trans and your name is Scott, that's fabulous, but we don't get all of your social media posts. Please forgive us if we seem to screw up.
Yeah, it is. I kind of feel the same way. And I'm trying to be really respectful. But of course, I don't go on social media all the time either. And I'm not up to date. So, yeah, sometimes it can feel a little bit
But
overwhelming.
you know something, Steph, respect has to go 2 ways.
Yeah.
I mean, we laid the foundation for what they have today.
Yes, I was going to say that.
Actually,
And just, well, if,
I have a story, but I don't want to
Okay.
interrupt you.
and these young people need to study history, because no matter what history it is, if you don't study history, you're doomed to repeat it. And you don't want to go back to what it was, because if you're
Mhm.
not in tune to what's going on and what has been and how it got to where you are now, it's the same thing like our politics here.
Yeah.
And the idiots in this country are ignorant, uneducated, and they don't know history. And that's why we're in the damn mess we're in now.
Yeah.
And the same thing goes for LGBTQ. You have to know the history of your where
Your forebears.
you're right, exactly.
So we were involved in an incident a couple of years ago at, of all things, the Dyke March. The New York City Dyke March has been around for around 30 years, and we have participated in it almost since the beginning. A couple of years ago, I had a sign. It was entirely misunderstood by the younger generation. And we were,
Reprimanded.
well, okay, before we were reprimanded, a young
Marshall, one of the
no, before the
Yeah,
marshals
Mar-
came to talk to us. Okay, what I'm like carrying my sign and we're having a great time, and it's probably our 25th time marching together. And a young person came and smushed in between the two of us, and not so accidentally stepped on your foot.
Right, like it was almost like a football move.
Yeah. And so then, we kind of brushed it off. And a little bit later, we were approached by one of the marshals to discuss our transphobia. And I'm like, excuse me? What? Apparently, a formal complaint was lodged against us because I was carrying a sign showing the two of us getting married and myself and a ABCD figure skater in, a really happy skating pose. And basically what the sign said was, I'm legally married to a woman. Why should I have to skate with a man? And I thought I was telling my personal story and celebrating that at least at the gay games, I got to skate with a person of whatever gender I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
But the assumption among apparently a whole group of young people at the Dyke March was that if given the chance, I would refuse to skate with a trans man.
Yeah, that's going a little bit far.
Right. That's really
Right. So, we explained that terminology has changed since we were.
it's fluid.
I mean, it really has changed that, that that we had been activists since before these people were born.
Before their
That,
parents were born, maybe.
I'm an honorary life member of the board of directors of the Federation of Gay Games, and we fight for trans rights and non-binary rights, and ultimately the mediator went back and educated the complainants a little bit and suggested gently what MaryAnn was saying, respect your elders, understand that they may have done things that have made it a little bit
Easier for you to
A
be
lot.
where you are now.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes, like when I wear this shirt out in public, and for your listeners who can't see that my shirt says lesbian AF, this is a shirt that is understood by younger generations far more than older generations.
Mm-hmm.
I have had people I had a woman come up to me on the street. She's probably our age, and I'm wearing this shirt. And she said, I didn't know they had their own Air Force. But,
Oh,
it,
that's so funny. Oh, that's so funny.
but so, I'm not exposing anything about myself.
That would be cool, wouldn't it?
I mean, it would be way cool. I wouldn't join, but the kids totally get it, and they
Yeah.
see an elder queer, and they come running up, and they're like, I'm gay too. Can I hug you?
Mm.
So, I think of this shirt as how I can reach out to young people without even trying.
Yeah. It all comes down, what you're saying is about educating each other. We all have to still educate each other, even if we're a part of the community. And like you said, Marianne, it goes on both sides, like so much the young and the older one, because what we went through,
Right.
I mean, for me in the 80s, it was you're gay, you're a lesbian, or you're a drag queen, or you might be trans. It was going like that. Like from me growing up, that's what I saw. And it was not, we didn't have social media to
Right.
internet, all this stuff to explain it to us. I mean, I thought I was the only gay person until I got to college because, in my little town, it did not exist. It was only straight people, boys played hockey, and, that's what it was. So we come from such different background, and the younger one they come from such a different background. I think it's just this is what it proves that even in our own community,
Exactly.
Yes,
that we
and
have to listen to each other, educate each other,
Communication.
communicate together, because
but
it can get so lost and so out of proportion for nothing.
And you don't want any fractures in our community because we have enough
No.
with the outside world.
absolutely. You know what? I just thought of something because I'm going to tell a little story, or we'll tell it together, that's surprising because we are even older than you are, yet MaryAnn and I had completely different experiences
Yeah.
finding lesbians and coming out.
Mhm.
I'm going to say mine first
Okay.
and quickly. When I came out, I mean, I knew, and I couldn't find any other lesbians. I went to the library, I read, like, I was 13 the summer of the Stonewall riots, and I knew I was a lesbian. But when I went to the library to read up on lesbians, I was reading psychological journals about curing and horrible novels where the women always died or killed themselves. Meanwhile, MaryAnn was a few years older, living 50 miles away. And your experience?
I always knew that I was attracted to women from the very young age. Men did nothing for me, boys, nothing. I looked at boys as people I could play sports with because I was very sports oriented.
Mhm.
And that's as far as it went. And a few friends of mine in junior high school, we got to be friendly. And then we went to the same high school, which was an all women's high school. And it was a huge, my graduating class had 900 graduates in it.
And how many lesbians?
Oh, half the school. I hear people speak about their high school days and how they dreaded them. I had the best time in high school. We had a great time. We went out, we did things, we did. It was amazing. It was just a whole different thing. And I never felt any guilt about my gender preference. I never let anybody try to talk me out of it. Not that somebody did try, but I never felt I felt normal.
Well,
Wow.
I mean, this is the other. Not only did MaryAnn have a normal, happy family experience
Family, yeah.
because she was a jock, she just met all of the other like-minded girls and had a normal teenage social and dating life. And
It was.
I mean, I have no words.
I
It
wouldn't
just jogged
trade
my
that part of
mind.
my life for anything. But the other thing is, we used to go to the bars in Manhattan because in Brooklyn there weren't any. And at that time, if you had to have 3 articles of women's clothing on you, because if the place got raided by the cops, you could get hauled in. So these kids don't understand that part of it, and there's a lot
Wow.
more of it. There's
Yeah.
a lot of the men were targeted in violence,
Mhm.
and this is what they have to know. They have to know about the Stonewall riots because that really put it on the map.
Yeah.
It surprises me sometimes when there are hugely important things that younger people don't know. Like recently, I was talking to someone who's in her mid 40s and very out and very involved. And I made a pink triangle reference, and this was news to her. It's like, what's the pink triangle? And for viewers and listeners, the pink triangle was an early one of the logos of hatred that queer people claimed as our own.
Isn't
you
that
know,
what the Nazis did
yes,
on
Nazi
the
Germany.
Nazi Germany?
They sewed yellow stars of David on Jews and
The
pink
pink triangles on the
triangles
homosexuals.
on homosexuals. And I'm kind of sad that the pink triangle is not as visible a symbol. I love our rainbows.
Mhm.
But it's a reminder.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's an important part of history. But like I mentioned before, I hope we have another 29 years together. I wonder what the next couple of generations are going to be like. I hope we keep evolving and keeping up and can stay as non-judgmental as
Mhm.
possible. I do hear us sounding a little bit like, the senior citizens talking about the younger generation.
Well, it's not in hatred or anything. It's to try and keep them informed and not be ignorant of what came before them, and have an appreciation and understanding of what transpired before they were on this earth.
Right. I mean, I think I'm very, very proud of what our generation and
Accomplished.
Of
people
course.
before us. I mean,
Yeah.
we might be seen as, real pioneers, but we're not the OG pioneers. We certainly have done a lot of pioneering. But and I'm so glad that we've been able to do that, and any little bit of assistance that we have given to younger generations to enable them to come out and live authentic lives. I'm so glad that we were able to do it. I hope that these kids in turn will be able to make things even better for
Yeah.
their young,
because they're going to be eventually they're going to be in our position.
Yeah.
So they have to have that understanding, because they are going to be there one day.
we hope they will.
Well, we hope they will. Yeah.
So what I really hear and what we see right now, what's going on, ignorance is dividing. Ignorance is
Oh,
dividing.
gosh.
So we need for our community to be strong together. We need to educate each other, listen and talk to each other, because we can't fight in
Amongst
within
Right.
and then try to make it work in the rest of the world.
Right.
So
Exactly.
and it's so true. Like in what see more and more, it's like, okay, when there's division, it all comes from ignorance so much. And educate yourself. So we all have to, as much as us, we have to educate ourselves about the new generation, but they have a lot of work to do also and educate
Exactly.
themselves, so we can all be one community together, because there's enough shit right now.
Yeah, we don't.
we-
We have
we don't need-
enough of outside shit.
Yeah.
We don't need
way
that. We
too
need-
much.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
that's why this podcast is so important. You are doing amazing work here.
Well, it's
And-
because of people like you guys too. So, but we
It's-
have so much. We have so much to. We all have to do this now, like more than ever. And I used. Well, we're gonna talk about this later because it's one of your next question. But
Okay.
Thank you so much, Laura and MaryAnn, for sharing your story. Part 2 and the conclusion of this episode will be coming out on Thursday. Don't miss it. And remember, embrace your identity, honor our history, and connect across generations with compassion. I'm always looking for inspiring guests for the podcast, and I'd love to have you or someone you know share your journey with pride. The world needs your story, and it has the power to change lives, and your voice matters. Please reach out and send me an email today. It is already time to say au revoir just for now. So please join me every Monday and Thursday for brand new episodes of the Together Moving Forward podcast and learn how to embrace your 2S LGBTQIA plus identity with confidence and pride. If you enjoy this podcast, be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode on how to learn to love and respect yourself. If you found this episode useful, share it with a friend or someone you know in our 2S LGBTQIA plus community so you can help them embrace self-love. It might seem like a small gesture, but it truly makes a huge difference. Wherever you are from in the world, we are all connected. And remember, more than ever, solidarity beats hate. The more we unite, the stronger we become. Because at the end of the day, we are all equally human and we all deserve the same rights. One last thing before I go. Put your hand on your heart and repeat after me. You and me together. I celebrate my uniqueness and individuality. Yes, I celebrate my uniqueness and individuality. From guilt, shame, silence, and rejection to pride, freedom, healing, and love, together moving forward. Thank you so much for joining me today and for being a part of this journey towards pride and self-love. Your presence means a lot to me. See you real soon. Ciao. Subscribe now and share to uplift, empower, and make a real difference in our community.